Blind leading the blind. Don't you think it's irresponsible to keep up these hexagons' hope alive? Hex was doomed from day one. Richard owns most entire supply, among other glaring red flags. Dustin Mulligan, appreciate you chiming in. I disagree. I don't think so. I think thinking about it being, it's pretty interesting actually. If you believe Hex and PulseChain are doomed to fail, and you are promoting them, then logically, it would be irresponsible to keep people's hope alive. Ethically speaking, in a very generic way. However, it gets quickly invalidated when I don't believe that. And there's no data to show that. And it's purely an opinion. So while I respect that everyone can hold their own opinion and, again, they can shout it from whichever rooftop, or they get time, for example, on the show, for example, to talk about it. I disagree. And I mean, Hex was new from day one. I don't agree with that. Richard owns most of the entire supply. Even if he did, I don't think that validates your first point, which was Hex was doomed from day one. I don't think that's like a data point from it either. Among other glaring red flags, I think Hex is so different and set up in a way that is very different than a lot of other cryptos, where it's not a scam. It does, Richard used to say that, what is it? It uses scam tactics without being a scam. I forget how he said it. And we've had 5 years of showing that it's not a scam. And we've faced the biggest adversity, the most criticism. Richard's been on video with lawyers for 7 hours and all this stuff. And he wins every single time. Every single argument he has crushed over and over and over. So I get the point that there are things throughout history they could point to that are obviously going to fail, or scams that don't know they're scams yet. Like, that's not the point too. Where they would be the blind leading the blind. I could see projects today where I think they're, if I were to give a not generous assessment, they would be the blind leading the blind. People are going to get other people wrecked on other projects and stuff. And some of them have good intentions, the people doing it. Some of them don't. And I just think that, I just disagree with the entire premise. But I'm glad you brought it up, because it really helps me remember, and it challenges. I don't mind to be challenged in these ways. I don't mind. What's the first thing in my X feed description? First principles thinker. I have pride for using my brain. And of course, is there always that, 1%? There's always this, like, again, imaginary horrible. I don't want to use all the language. I'm trying to be as, objective as possible here. Is there always this chance that, they just got you. You just got scammed. I know they're really good at it. I know that, they could be playing the long game. Again, literally, it's really hard to make this case objectively. Honestly, it is really hard. Like, if I would literally sit down and write down the ways I think that this ecosystem could be a scam, it's just not going to be very strong points. It's going to be mostly opinions. So, and on the other side, I have mostly opinions saying why it's not doomed. And that's cool too. But I don't think there's any data points. There's no objective facts that show that this ecosystem, that Hex or PulseChain, Richard Hart, are scams or scammers. And it's not the sunk cost fallacy. It's not that I've been doing this a while. It's not that I've been following for a long time. And of course, do I want them to win? Do I, does this whole effort, the time, energy, capital, brand, has it been put into making sure this place wins and making sure that people understand that it's not, not a bad place. It's not a place where your money can just be stolen and taken away, and the founder's not just what was in the movie? What was the way to describe it? The Clay from Nomics. He said art, some kind of arts piece. I forget what it was. It's not this. It's not a scam. So from everything that I understand about it, and I understand a lot about this ecosystem, I've seen a lot, and I've been here a long time. Of course, am I biased? Of course am. I realize that. But I'm, again, first principles thinking, start from the ground up. Where's the scam? Who got scammed? Who gave their money to someone and it got taken away? It wasn't Richard. It wasn't HEX. It wasn't HEX protocol. PulseChain's working fine. Who got scammed? You can do all these mental gymnastics and you can go back and forth and be like, oh, well, there's set up in a way for only certain people to benefit and he owns all the coins. And, obviously this is, like there's all these things you can come up with. There are these indirect, like, oh, but it feels this way. They're all opinions. My opinion is this place is baller. This place is, I refuse to give up on this place because I know that it has so much. I'm not going to say the word potential. It is so powerful that it cannot be recreated. And there is no other place like it. And I want to see Richard come back and start doing the great things that he has set himself up to do. And he has enabled us to do. And we've enabled him to do. No, I try my hardest not to have expectations, but I will say the most expectations I have in the world of me putting my energy and stuff in this place is that we will get to glory